Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome to a special reading. This is going to be for Scorpio, sun, moon, rising, though I know many of you are intuitively guided, so, be open to that. Something may, like, you made you click on the video and you're thinking, I don't even know if I have Scorpio in my chart. That's your spirit guides. That's who I read through. So many times, I find people are nudged to a reading, and just, I would say, stay open. That definitely means there's messages here for you. So we are doing a soulmate reading. This is where I am going to our guides, my guides, your guides, working together, and we're asking them six specific questions. Um, and we're going to use the psychic tarot to answer that with the crystal vision and the gilded tarot. We are also, one of the questions asked about the minor or the major arcana energy that's supporting this love, if it's meant to be. So we'll use the major arcana. So I'm going to go ahead and put them over there, though. We'll open up the reading with Mother Mary. So I'm going to tell you real quick the questions I'm asking. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to give the decks a quick shuffle. Everything's always pre-shuffled, but I like to give it a shuffle with you here. So number one, I'm going to ask about your soulmate's subconscious thoughts about you. We all have soulmates. Um, but we all have free will too. And can free will come in between it? I think so. Sometimes. Um, but I'm looking for high vibrational love for you, nothing less. So, number two, your subconscious or conscious thoughts on them. Some of you may already know who this person is, some may not. Um, Again, just be open. Number three, I have to say, you are the third one I'm doing for this type of reading, and I have to say the answers have been so clear um, about the potential meeting in 2025. And I'll tell you why I asked it that way, because I'm really not interested in 2026. I'm not really interested in someone who comes in that you see for a couple weeks and then that goes away. You know what I mean? Um, and we only have a couple months left. Number four, did we love here and or a past life or past lives? Chances are it's past lives, but I'd be more interested in the last lifetime to see if there's anything potentially left undone. Um, this is how I look at soulmates. I feel like if we're going to come together, we may know that before we were born on earth, but the adventure of the soul sometimes is finding that person. And sometimes we do have to kiss a lot of frogs before we finally find our prince or princess, our king or queen. Um, but another way of looking at it is our energy. I think about myself today versus my younger self, and today I wouldn't have seen 99% of the people I went out with today. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know the energy now. Um, but anyway, I don't know where I'm going with this. So, number five, divine's energy that's supporting this union. So, if it's meant to be, what energy is supporting it? What is divine working on your behalf? And then last but not least, the major arcana, that's the major arcanas that's connecting um, the two of you. And I say two, but there's many out there. And I want to thank you just for choosing this video, by the way. I also want to let you know real quickly, excuse me, I did add a new personal reading to my list of personal readings. I don't have that many. I have a past life personal reading. Usually it's relating to love, but it's about everything, whatever it needs to be. I have what I call regular reading, just means everything comes out. I have an emergency reading, which is it's in 48 hours for those who need it now. And I just added in a one question reading, but using this format. I love this format. And it would be only you and your questions. Um, so that's just another option I added. And it's to help save people money who, maybe you wanted a reading. Um, okay. That being said, and by the way, also thank you for hyping the video. If you found value in it, I don't expect you just to hype. I want you to hype if you liked it, if it brought you value, hopefully comfort and clarity. Okay, Mother Mary says family, family. I pray for my family and give this situation over to God for answers, support, and healing. What I'm feeling right away is there are families that are breaking up, and it certainly can also be, healing over families. I'm not leaving that off the table. But what I'm feeling pretty strongly is there's some families going through maybe divorces or what have you, and doesn't feel like it's going easy. Um, and there's just certain things that you just can't control. Hand that over, like let that go, and control what you can control. Sometimes we can't control another, but we can control ourselves or our reaction. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start with the questions. And again, I'm looking for soulmates or twin flames, and I'm looking about their potential of coming together by the end of 2025. But what I've been finding is it seems like it's much sooner for many. So we'll see. And by the way, I think I'm going to do Capricorn after you. Interesting, I just said that. I have a feeling there's some Capricorns here. Um, because I can feel your energy, so I think I'll do Capricorn after this. All right, so number one, your soulmate's subconscious thoughts about you. Remember, you're soul connected. You'll always be soul connected for eternity. So these subconscious thoughts can be even predestined thoughts. All right. Look at that. The Eight of Swords. Fear. Stuck. Wow. Someone's feeling stuck in a situation. This is a number 8. So it can be a new beginning, but it feels like it's difficult to get to that. What's at the end of a horse race? That, uh, to win the race. I don't know. There's a word I'm looking for. This is a self created prison. So I put myself there, but it doesn't seem like I'm happy there. No wonder I was picking up that energy where I feel like some are just like at the end of, you know, a relationship, and I feel like this your person wants to be free because it is self-created, which means they have the power to uncreate it. And that's truly the sense of freedom. And I don't mean like freedom as being alone. I mean freedom to be truly who I am. So, interesting. That is free will also. The unknown card. Well, that makes sense. This is the high priestess, but this is someone who's not really paying attention to their intuition. You know, this is like, it really feels like the unknown. You know, some people have hard times with change, even if they just know it's worth it. And sometimes we have to be comfortable with the unknowing, but still take a chance. Ah, Three of Wands makes me feel like, Nick, okay, they're going to do it. This is a completely different energy. And this is the energy of optimism. So they must break themselves free to then be in this energy. And it's interesting because in the Three of Wands, I feel like it is about living in the present moment. It is saying to divine, I know, like this person can see the ships. You know, I'm either sending those ships out or those ships are returning to me. And those ships are your blessings. So it's saying, you know, I know that when it's my divine time, you know, if I'm in this optimistic state, like if I'm looking towards the future, living in the present, you're much more open to receiving. It's funny, I keep saying you, but yet this is your person. Now, I say your person, but let's just say, for whatever reason, let's say they never break themselves free. That does not mean that you should stick around, wait it out. You know, if you know who this is, like, you have to have self respect for yourself first and foremost. And if then they want to be with you, well, then they need to do their thing, right? Don't lower your vibration. And I'm not talking about our ego, it's our energy. So, anyways, I feel like ultimately this person breaks themselves free and, you know, is now looking forward to the future. And again, in this energy, they may not even know what it is. This is passion, it's fire. You can see all the fire. Well, those aren't fires, but they look like it. Oh, he's got one big ship coming in. Bet you're on that ship. All right. So we're just reversing it now. And your subconscious or conscious thoughts on them. Temptation. So interesting that I said I was going to do Capricorn after this because Capricorn, this is Capricorn's major arcana. Do you know, it's almost like I have a feeling for some of you, you know who this is because I get this feeling of like it's hard not to get pulled into that type of energy. Mm. You know, what I feel like saying is it's important that you know where your own energy is at, right? Because again, we're doing really what I call the highest form of love. And I see a lot of like free will in this energy also, which is also a gift. But sometimes I feel like it's a hinder. The hell's that? There's a bug. Sorry. So funny. I just said how, and there's the devil. We have the Five of Swords. We have, interesting, the Hermit. Well, I'm feeling a couple different things, but let's start with what I feel of those who may know who this is. They themselves may be in a situation that, it's like, how the hell did I get here? But here I am. Here I am. And it's almost like rooted. So I got to dig the roots up. You know what I mean? A little bug flying around. Um, I feel like there could have been conversations about this situation. Yeah. And it does feel like, you may have said to yourself, this probably isn't good for me. Yet you kept, you just feel pulled to it. Well, it makes sense because, again, soulmates. And then we have the hermit. Well, that definitely represents this year, first and foremost. Before I move to the hermit, I want to say also, like in this Five of Swords, it's like both are putting daggers in each other's backs, right? They're walking away from each other, but they both have daggers. Or is he just carrying the daggers? Could have been two times, two daggers. And this is about change. So some of you may just be saying that, you know, you have to deal with your own situation. I don't like being pulled into it. I feel like you're learning more and more every day. While this person feels stuck, I feel like you're listening to your intuition, even though I feel like you still feel pulled. But again, there could be a reason. Yet, I want to say I feel like your self respect won out because I feel like in this conversation, they're separating because I feel like I'm tired of not knowing. I'm tired of wondering. I'm tired of stagnation. It doesn't matter how I feel anymore. It's maybe overwhelming. But then the hermit mirroring that, what did I learn from it? How have I become wiser? This is the wise old soul. And you're a very intuitive sign, psychic. But not everybody is. Because I feel like this person isn't. I mean, really, we all carry that, I think. But like, this person feels more rooted to the ground, where you feel more open and like I see you just kind of floating. I could see you helping, planting seeds. I feel like you already have. And now I feel like that's what I got to tell myself. The seeds have been planted, and that's all I can do. I want to remind you, though, I do feel like this person is going to have some true realizations about themselves, about their own situation. And also, I feel like this person has to learn, well, I want to say to be the fool to take a leap of faith, but maybe they do take leaps of faith and they took that a leap that seemed to have, well, making them feel stuck. But again, that's an illusion. And by the way, when you see the devil, that's what I think of a lot. There could be a lot of illusions, but I feel like there's a sense of just like your self-respect, because I feel like it's like the five, right? The change, where the change is you walking away from the situation. So if this hasn't happened in this lifetime, then it happened in a past lifetime, because that's clear. Now, I want to say something else. I also feel that when you look at your own history, let's say, and that's really what the hermit is about, reflecting over those last 9 years, the wisdom that I have gained, um, it's really what it is. It is the final reflection to then allow the fool in the magician's energy, by the way. But I love again that the full sharing is beacon of light outwardly. So I feel like many of you, you've been learning how to cut through the illusions. And, I want to say, like, it feels like a big lesson, like something you should be proud of, no matter what. I feel like it is like Scorpio and self respect are going hand in hand. All right, well, let's go to number three, 2025's potential of the two of you meeting or coming together. Interesting. We have the Hierophant, which is called wisdom here, and it is a five, change. I'm just looking at this person and I'm just looking at how he's looking at this house. Hmm. This is about your morals, your beliefs. Can talk about religion, but it certainly doesn't have to. Can be more of a spiritual. But I'm just noticing how this person is looking at this house. And that little dog, that's a spirit guide. How adorable. It's interesting. I just saw in my mind's eye where someone may have like a dog show up at your door. Interesting. Like just a random dog shows up at your door, like what you think is lost. And then the owner is probably out looking for him. And I feel like, I don't know why I'm feeling that. All right. Well, hello, Ten of Pentacles. So, first of all, Ten of Pentacles, I do not feel you're alone in this energy. And we're looking at the potential of you coming together in 2025. Ten Pentacles is the house of abundance. It means who's ever living there, like their creativity is flowing, money is flowing. I feel like in the Ten of Pentacles, it talks about, what can truly take root. Like, okay, I kiss a lot of frogs, but this may be the one where I like put down roots. Interesting because we have the Hermit, which really speaks about, like, let's say, spiritual wisdom. And it really is like after the dark night of the soul. And that could be the Five of Swords. But then you have the Ten of Cups. And I don't know why I'm thinking like the Nine of Pentacles. I'm sorry, the Ten of Pentacles. Um, but for some reason, I'm feeling a progression. And right now, this 5 is mirroring this 8. So again, it's like, I don't want to give false hope. Look at this, the Ace of Wands. Someone is being inspired. Someone is being guided. And it's interesting because I feel like there's something about this house. I think it represents stable. But just the way I'm feeling this, it's like there's something about this house. Have I been here before? I don't know. There's something about it. And I feel like the Ace of Wands is what inspired someone to find this house. Now, this house may represent anything. Use your own intuition. But, and then that Ace of Wands. I mean, and I love that Ace of Wands following the Hermit. Passion ignited. You can't deny it. Action oriented. He's like standing there right now. I don't know. But look at the Ace of Wands mirroring the Ten of Pentacles. I mean, you want to talk about abundance and like loving what you do. Like just inspired. So that feels good. It feels very promising. I feel like we have to keep going back here though, because that Eight of Swords is what's holding this person in their mind. Will they break free? Their spirit guides can't make them. They can't come between us and our free will. But they can certainly, try. All right, number 4. Did we love here in this lifetime and or a past lifetime? Truth. Look at that. Truth, Sandy. This is judgment. This is your spiritual team. Their message is about rebirth. So I feel like right away that's answering that question. But it also has another message, and that is about being in the present moment. It's interesting because it is following a 5. So it's like being the present moment. There's about to be a rebirth. Rebirth. Well, doing Soulmate, so. All right, let's go above it. 2 of Wands. There's movement. 7 of Cups. Did I speak too soon? 7 of Cups is trying to make an emotional decision. Um, but it can be in chaotic energy. And I feel like one of the main things we can do in that, like we can't sometimes control the energy that's around us, but like it's learning to center ourselves. Because I feel like you are making a decision, and who knows? Um, I definitely feel past lives. I definitely feel that. And I definitely feel for some of you this lifetime and last lifetime. I'm not feeling like just this lifetime for anyone. It's interesting, but something is pulling me back here. And it's like, you remember in this lifetime when, like, I was a badass? Like I was like Clyde, a Bonnie and Clyde, or something like that. Like they were adventuresome, like they would not have found themselves in the energy that they are finding themselves. Now, this may be what they're thinking themselves. Hmm. All right. Well, all right. So the major arcana. Do I have? Wait. Okay, I'm skipping one. Divine's energy in supporting this union. So, what energy is supporting the potential of the two of you? The Emperor. Wow. Queen of Swords. Four of Cups. Interesting. Look at this, Four of Cups. This talks about discontentment and boredom in one's emotional world. What energy is divine supporting you in? Well, here comes a cup. Here comes a cup. Where's it coming from? Right from divine's hand. Right to you. And I'm going to be honest. First thing I felt when the Emperor came out is that someone's energy. It's like saying, boy, it always reminds me of a country song, and I can never remember the title, but it's like, I'm a better man now. No, it's the women singing about like they want a better man. But I do feel in this situation where someone may be uttering that, or actually their energy is there. The emperor, it's like, he looks like the protector here, almost like the protector of that house where I don't really know, didn't know what that house was. All of a sudden, I feel like now I do, because I feel like the emperor's like the protector. Solid. I love the ring of light around him. It's like illuminated, like back here, which is mirroring the eight to self created prison. But we know the emperor's not going to live in that. So I feel like just along the way, the emperor has learned some life lessons. And now I feel like this person is standing like strong. Here they feel weak. Here they feel strong. And it may be simply a change of location, a change of house. Judgment is calling us to the present moment. There is about to be a rebirth. Here is this cup. And this is divine support of this union. So it's like divine is giving the cup. You know, it's like, okay, both cups are now equally filled. Queen of Swords is interesting because I get the sense of like her speaking her piece, but yet she's holding this gentle little butterfly, and there's butterflies around her, and she is a butterfly. So I don't feel like it's like I'm speaking my piece, but I'm not yelling it or screaming it, or it's just my truth. My truth. And in comes this cup. I mean, come on. You know, the reality is, who's ever back here in the Eight of Swords, if they don't break themselves free, then we do have a different story. But if we do, then maybe it was meant to be that way. You know, like I don't want you to look at this and be like, well, what if they never break themselves free? Well, you'll still go on, right? That cup is still coming in. And they, you know, if that's the way it happens, they may have just been a catalyst for like the true soulmate. The Emperor's definitely someone you can look up to. You know, this is someone who really has natural healing abilities, um, but may use them in a very different way. It's interesting because I do feel like this protection. Interesting because I felt that in another reading too. All right, so let's do the major arcanas that's supporting the two of you. And I'm going to shuffle for these. Oh my God. Hello, lovers. Hello, lovers. Someone left a comment like, why do tarot sing or tarot readers sing? We can't help it. It just comes out. I know it's horrible. The lovers with the Hierophant. Well, we have double Taurus here, by the way. But let me tell you what I really feel like this is. I feel like this is matching morals. These are two people who are on the same page, maybe have the ultimate goals in mind. And it's not about like, you know, where we end up. It is about the journey. But then, you know, the lovers and the angels' influence over the lovers. You know, sometimes you'll see um the devil's card where you'll see the devil influencing the lovers. And that could very much be the case. But it may just be influencing one, that they can break free from that. There's so much light, you know, and truth. It's like, boom, truth is just standing out. You know, the lover is number one card of Gemini. The meaning is a head over heart decision. And that could certainly be the case. But I feel like I 100% feel like I'm following my heart. But I don't even feel it as a question. You know, I just get the sense of someone's going to stand up and do what they need to do, or I feel like you're gone. And if you are gone, then I feel like you're on the journey to someone new, but also a soulmate, which makes me think that this person is like a soulmate catalyst, right? To maybe shock or activate your heart chakra. I feel like it's going to be one way or the other, but it definitely is talking about love. Wow. Okay. Um, I did bring out the cosmic tarot just to see if there was anything, in case there was anything I wanted to clarify, which, is interesting because every time I do one of these readings, I feel like, wow, our questions are answered. All right. Um, well, let's jump back to the Eight of Swords because it feels like someone sets himself free. So let's look at it. We have the King of Cups. So, trapped in love, trapped in emotions. Maybe I'm in one situation, but my heart is elsewhere, whether I say that or not. This king is looking like towards this future, the world, the next chapter. So, that makes sense because it's saying that something has come to completion. They just have to realize that. But just like truth, this is about, yes, something has come to completion, but then something new is opening up. Just like the hermit, right? The nine and even the 10, but then the two, right? The beginning of something. And we have the moon. Interesting. Um, Card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. Yeah. But I don't think that's it. I think it's just the uncertainties. I feel like this person, deep in their soul, whether they show it or not, and whether you even know it or not, I feel like there's just been a period of time of them fighting their own emotions. And I think what I mean by that is maybe the lack. Like, why can't if I truly feel it, why can't I just let it be? Why can't I just do it? So I feel like this is something they were working through. But now that we have the world and the king looking outwardly, I feel like they're going to take a chance. Again, the moon can talk about uncertainties. We have the unknown card, but it is also dreamy energy. So this king may have something on his mind. All right. So I think that's pretty clear. Okay. I want to look I want to look at the Hierophant in the middle, but I mainly want to look at it because just the way I'm reading it, the Hangman and the Prince of Pentacles. Interesting. No wonder he's not going in. The Hangman is seeking spiritual wisdom to use on this physical plane. And Page of Pentacles would definitely pick up that wisdom, use that wisdom. This is someone who I definitely feel like learning, has a curious mind. But that makes sense because the hangman is seeking wisdom. And this person is standing outside of the house. All right. Well, I want to take one on top of that. Put that, the Nine of Cups. First of all, the Nine of Cups, inner fulfillment. That's so important because if I have inner fulfillment, then loving isn't a chore. The Nine of Cups is also fulfillment of wishes. And I feel like this Hierophant is looking at that house. And that's one of his wishes. That's one of the wishes. Someone may have, if they were in a relationship back here, then they broke themselves free. They became single. I'm saying it like they broke themselves free. It's not about the other person. It's about them feeling trapped. I'm not putting the other person down like, oh, the other person was terrible. So I'm not even reading that. It's not even about that. It's about what they feel. And, will they be bold enough? I feel the answer has to be yes. And the fulfillment of wishes, well, that's your card, first of all. Okay. So let's just go. Okay. We have the King of Wands. So this is definitely a king of action. King that moves according to their passion. This isn't someone who's going to overthink. Maybe they did, maybe they used to, but not now. It can certainly mean fire for some. It is coming over. Well, I'm kind of doing it here. I really don't know where it's meant to be. Then we have the Three of Cups. Well, that's joy. That's rejoice and celebration. I'm thinking of a song. Chin chin, cherry, chin chin. I can't think of it. Anyway, so it's interesting. There's celebration going on, and that's coming under the energy of divine, right? Divine's energy behind this all. It's like that cup bringing joy, not only to you, but to them also. That's the thing. This isn't one sided. The lovers, they're together, right? They're together. They build their Ten of Pentacles together. They may combine, you know what I mean, depending on where you're at in life. I may have my work, they have their work, but then this is the combination of the two. But then the creative nature of the two also. So wherever that may go. So it's going to be interesting when I do Capricorn's reading if your major arcana shows up. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it there because I feel like it answered our questions. Yeah. Oh no, I'm going to bring the romance angels out. All of a sudden, I feel like I heard people yelling like, "Don't you forget the romance angels." And you're right. All right. So, as it relates to The soulmate love. What wisdom do you have to tell us today? That didn't take long. Well, engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. Wow. It doesn't have to mean an actual engagement, but let's not leave that off the table. But I love how it's saying your love life is ascending to a higher level. That means you have also. That means they have also. Higher level of commitment. Oh my. Hello, soulmate. I'm kind of glad I didn't skip them now. Yes, this is your soulmate. Yes, this is your soulmate. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. And then let your friends help you. Ask for and ask for and accept support from others. It's interesting because I'm feeling this as, for some of you, you may call this person a friend already. Like, I don't know. I just feel that. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. And this is your soulmate. Like, I'm going to leave it there. I feel like, how do I top that? I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to claim it. Thank you. Thank our guides. And let it be. And send it to you. I send this energy to you. I love you guys. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. And I am going to do Capricorn next. And I'll be curious to see if your major arcana shows up. So, anyway, I love you. Bye bye.